Talkin Money.
Well, alrighty then. We're back to Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell.
Right. You people are waking up now. We got the Commodores, now we got the Penguins. That's probably another band we're not familiar with in the 70s. Yeah, there are now estimated to be 595,000 Emperor Penguins, which I guess is different from the non-Emperor. The Peon Penguins we got a lot of, but the Emperors, we need more Emperor Penguins. So 500, and they taste like chicken, I've heard. So yeah. Hey, there's twice as many as we thought. I'm sure there'll be at the Outback. You can get the Emperor Penguin with the garlic fries. I think
high in omega-3s.
That's right. I bet they are. It's just the drive-through up there is wicked to get to. So there's we got a couple quiz winners on that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do because we've got a new not a new sponsor, but we've just got a new giveaway for our sponsor, which is the Hellwig Winery, and I'm going to give away a Friday night concert series pass, which is a gift certificate to go up there, listen to their concerts on the Friday night, have some wine and do that stuff too. So I'm going to give away to the first person who just wants to go check it out. Ken, have you been up to Hellwig?
I actually have. Hellwig is an absolutely fantastic winery, great location off Shenandoah Road out in Amador County. I would highly encourage you to take a trip out there on a Friday night for their concert series coming up here this summer, or take a trip out there any one of the weekends coming up. They put on some great events. When you go out there and say hello to Joe Scheibel, who's the general manager, and his team. They do a fantastic job out there.
Yeah, so. That's Kent Smith for people at Hellwig. So if you want
spend some time out there, do you?
Yes, I have, and my brother's also a deputy sheriff out in Amador too. So
yeah, nice. Stop in there. So they don't go to the Winchells out there; they go to the Hellwig out there. So if you want if you'd like to try out the pass at Hellwig, we'll take the first call there. Looks like we have a few coming up there as well. So appreciate that. Yeah, the place is phenomenal. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be. They've only been open a year, and I might even be stretching that.
About 16 months, somewhere right around there.
Okay, yeah, and they've really just kind of gotten going. But I had an event out there down in the cave. They had down in the caves, and I saw I don't know if you can find it on the internet there, John. You pull up their concert. They have some killer bands coming this summer out there on their amphitheater too. So you got to check out. It's Hellwig, Helwig Winery, and it's the computer. We needed the Commodore 64. Apparently,
it's working about as fast as it right
now. not as fast. Let's see off the text line here at 441140. This looks like a long one here, so we'll let John answer this one. John, I'll read you this, and you tell me what you think. Had a foreclosure in 2007. A house was sold at auction. Recently pulled my credit, and the mortgage balance is still showing on my report and has been reporting 120 days late for 62 months. Is that normal? Should it be closed out with the foreclosure? Boy, that's okay. So had a foreclosure in 2007. House was sold at auction. Recently pulled my credit, and the mortgage balance still shows on my report. It has been reporting 120 days late for the last 62 months. So,
is it showing current?
It's just showing like a rolling 120 day late for the last 5 years.
Yep.
So
here's this challenge comes up a lot of times where house is foreclosed in 2007. You're thinking in 3 years I can buy a new house, and lo and behold, it still hasn't been transferred to the new bank, hasn't been taken out of your name. You're still waiting. You still have to wait until it officially clears, and then you have 3 years.
Yeah, but in his case, his house was sold at auction, so. The actual foreclosure went in 2007.
Doesn't mean it was recorded, though.
No, it does not mean it was recorded in 2007. I'm assuming by the tone of his text that it probably all did wrap itself up in 2007. But what's probably happened is the creditor either just didn't notify the credit agencies that it was gone. So what you could do in the 916 is track down a copy of the deed transfer, anything you have showing that foreclosure officially went through. You can go to the county records and pull a copy of the.
Or he has a copy of it.
Yeah, or if you have a copy of it, great. Get it out to all 3 credit bureaus immediately, and that's you Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. By law, they are required to remove that item from your credit report in 30 days if they cannot prove it's accurate. If you don't get immediate closure to that issue, and I mean immediate, I will give you the name of a law firm that only does credit type stuff, and they will go after the creditor. And because really now you are being harmed unfairly for the report, not for reporting it was a foreclosure. You were foreclosed upon. Fine. I was foreclosed upon. But now yours is still showing this constant repeating late payments, which probably has been a killer to your credit score if that's what it's doing. So you need to give you need to put some serious heat on that to get moving. Off the text line, please give a call-in number to ask a question. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 is the numbers here in the studio. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. But I think our texter there in the 916, if you want to shoot me an email at jeff@jefftarbell.com, I'm more than happy to get you in touch with somebody who can go after the creditor, because that is not right. And you should be in 07 be in a position to be able to buy again as well.
Absolutely.
So we'll take that. So, Ken, I want to get back. I want to read you this, and then we're going to talk about the 203 case some more. I know we've bounced around, but we've got new listeners coming in the second hour. Kent Smith, John Fodorero joining me from Comstock Mortgage. We're talking about the FHA 203K program, which is, I call it like the little rehab program, but it's kind of like it's a construction loan. I mean, other than you going out and finding a raw lot and putting a brand new house on it, this is a construction loan for a house that's been standing there, or it needs some tweaking or some major tweaking.
Remodel,
yeah, of any sorts. But this is this should get you inspired a little bit if you're a first-time buyer, or get you kicked in the rear. Typically, historically, when they look at the cost of ownership of a home versus renting, they take the cost of ownership after the tax deduction, the write-off for the interest. Okay, so they take that number and they compare it to an apartment. Okay, they don't compare it to another single-family home, which I think is kind of weird. But I guess if things are tough, an apartment is a home, and if you got to get down and dirty, you'll go live the cheapest place you can find. So they compare home ownership to apartment renting. Okay, and typically throughout history, it's on average an apartment is about 10% cheaper than the net cost of owning a home. Okay, so even after all the write-offs and stuff, it's still cheaper to own an apartment by about 10%. In 2010, those numbers became equal. So renting an apartment and owning a home were equal. In 2011, there is a 15%. It is 15% cheaper to own a home in most markets than it is to rent. So rents have been going up and up and up. House prices have been going down, 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 and rates, importantly, have been going down, down, down. And so you are now at a position where we've swapped, with the exception of Orange County and New York City. And there's a few others in there too: Portland, Oregon, and Denver, and Oakland, San Jose. Those areas, those are some very unique areas, and so renting down there still becomes a little bit cheaper than owning. But for the most part, nationwide, home ownership now has become cheaper than renting.
Time to move out of your apartment, I guess, Jeff.
Yeah, well, and now hey, we're comparing apartment rents to home ownership. We're not comparing renting a single family house. I bet if you throw that number in there, if you want to compare apples for apples, let's take a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, 1,500 square foot house. Okay, cost of ownership versus renting that unit is probably even a little more in the favor of buying today too. So,
sure.
I was talking to a friend of mine who moved back to Cincinnati, in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, and the rents that they get for what he could buy are off the chart. I told him, I said, John, why on earth would anybody rent back here? He said, everybody I know has lost their houses. They have to rent. Yeah. And that's where the demand is coming from, right? So they're pushing up the demand. Kent, before we get into okay, hold on a second. This is one of our texters is calling. Let's take a quick call if you don't mind. We may have to do this and hold another show next week too. So, hey Matt, welcome to Talkin Money. How you doing?
Jeff, how are you?
Was that you that just texted me?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, Matt, don't send me pictures anymore. That freaks me out. Okay. Just kidding.
I'll try not to.
Okay, what's happening?
Well, what had happened? My house foreclosed in 07, like I said, and it sold in auction for $180 about 2 weeks later.
Okay.
After they paid me to get out of the house.
Okay.
And I figured I'd give it some time and, let my credit do its thing, let the thing kind of fall off. And, I gave it 5 years. I pulled my credit last week, and it's showing the balance has been revolving for the past 5 years and reporting 120-day late every month, even as recent as March 10th.
Wow. And so, Matt, what do your credit scores look like? What did that do to your scores?
I remember I was about 670, and right now I'm at 530.
Ugh. And it's probably all that issue. So
that's the only thing.
Yeah. So
because I went through the whole credit repair thing. I went through secure credit cards. I've taken out loans, had them paid off, and just working on my credit so hard. And I just finally decide to pull it, see where it's at, and I look at it 532, almost across the board.
Yeah, that's what frustrates me, because Matt's done. I mean, Matt didn't just stick his head in the sand and say, "Well, okay, I'm never buying a house again. I'm just never going to use credit again. This sucks. I'm not doing it." You know, he went out and did all the things I would tell people to do: get a secured card. You know, don't avoid credit, use credit, pay it back, do all these things you're going to do. Don't call me 12 months after your foreclosure wanting a loan. I mean, Matt, he was realistic about everything, and yet. This one thing is on there. So, Matt, what you can do and what can happen for you is, first off, you've got to get the raw data corrected. So you've got to get the who was the lender that did the foreclosure? Remember? It doesn't matter. Whoever.
It was like ASC something.
Okay, one of the collection agencies.
American Service Company.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the problems there too. Is that they're just probably lax in doing things. So. Get your paperwork, whatever paperwork you got that said, you know, I'll take $1,500 and move out tomorrow, and you guys will take the house. Whatever you have, get it. I would immediately contact ASC and send them a certified letter saying, if you don't fix this, like in 9 seconds, I'm coming after you with both guns blaring. I would also send a CC copy of that to all 3 credit bureaus with the documentation that you have, and I would get all that in there, because you're a candidate for a rescore. A rapid rescore, because once that has been corrected and removed, the credit bureaus can rescore your credit based on what you really have been doing, not based on this jacked up 5-year issue that has been plaguing you. So I think it can be fixed, and I think it can be fixed relatively quickly once you get everybody blasted with the correct information. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's what I was wondering, if it can all be handled and removed off there, because that 60, 62, 120-day lates just killed me.
Yeah, I bet you probably jump back up into the high 600s once that's been rescored without there.
I went through two. I went into 2 sets of secured credit cards. I got loans for things that I didn't even need, but just to show that, I was paying them off, and they were charged off and paid, and everything was on time. I spent a lot of money actually just on interest.
Yep.
just to repair my credit, because I knew it was going to take a while, and it's a lot of extra money I spent for that thing just to be dropped into the low 500s.
Yeah, buying obscure gifts because you didn't. And by the way, my birthday's in May, Matt. If you're still looking to try to build that credit, so you have time. There's still shopping days left. So Matt, get to work on that, and let me know how that goes. And you can either contact me off the air too. I'd be happy to help you with the rescore process, but you got to do the first wave of you got to send the first nuclear weapon out there and start blasting these people with get my stuff corrected.
And also, do I have to do that myself, or can I pay someone to do that?
You know what? Yes, I have someone that can do that for you.
Okay, let me call you this week and see if I can get that information from you.
There you go. Good job, Matt. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's the guy's out trying to make a living. He doesn't want to have to try to track down 35 creditors as well. Let's get we got to take a break in there, Brian. Give me just a minute. Let's see if I can get let me see if I can get to Dave real fast here. We'll take a. Hey, Dave, welcome to Talkin Money. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what's happening?
Got a quick question, possibly. It's regarding a home, of course, being underwater like everyone else. We had our lender work with an associated firm that they've offered to reduce some of our money.
Okay.
To write off some of the money. Now we're talking. We had used the money. We'd taken money out, so we had used it for an investment, which failed. And so we're talking a substantial amount. Now, my understanding is if they relieve us of the write down our debt,
right,
they're going to 1099 us.
Right.
Now, I understand on a 1099, some part of it can be avoided, but if you've rolled money into your loan, then that money is not relievable. I will be 1099 under that. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is potentially accurate. So you're talking about actually keeping the house with the principal reduction.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you will be sent a 1099 or 1098, one of the two, for the debt relief, for the mortgage relief on there. And yes, that there is the potential for some of that to have some tax consequences to you. So I would highly suggest that you track down a CPA.
Uh-huh.
If you don't have one, I had one on the radio show a couple weeks ago. I'll try to find her name and her card. But you find out before you take that deal, find out what it means to you, as far as tax obligation, because I don't know about the rest of you. I'd rather get on the phone and deal with my lender and bark and moan at them a little bit. But once the IRS is in your back pocket, buddy, you got a new girlfriend, and her name is IRS, and she's going to keep on you until you pay. And so there is no way around getting away from the IRS. So you can keep messing with your lender forever, but if the IRS you owe them money, that the rubber has met the road. So I would check with your CPA before you do anything. But yes, that is potential, and it may just be fine. It might not be a big deal at all at this point in time. But I would want to know that before the IRS and I became partners.
Now, is this something we could make an appointment, come in and talk to you about, to get some counsel? Because we do have an enrolled agent who does our taxes, who made us aware of the problem. She put us in touch with a tax attorney who basically told us what you just told us. You do not want to owe the IRS the money, but we're looking at reducing $200,000 debt, and the money that we're going to owe IRS will be about $70,000. So, is it worthwhile for me to reduce $200,000 to get a $70,000 payback?
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, Dave. Contact me during the week or after the show. I will put you in direct touch with the person who only deals in this world. I deal with it on the radio, which means you can be wrong and then you can go to break. But you got to write a check for $70,000 if someone gives you bad advice. So I'll rather get you in touch with the right person. So let's do that. I'll put you back on hold. I'll get your information, and we'll get in touch with you. We got to take a break, right, Brian? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Here's my quiz question at 339-1140. The average household of 4 spends about $2,000 a year on this item that gets thrown in the trash, never even gets used.
How much?
$2,000 a year. Purchasing this item, it gets thrown out, never gets touched. What is it? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, or you can text me at 44-1140. This is Talkin Money. We're going to do a little 203K talk when we get back, Jack.